for the first question, how do you compute for inflation rate using the basket cost and consumer price index? So let's start with the definition. Consumer Price Index or CPI is a measure of the overall cost of goods purchased by people living in metropolitan urban areas. CPI is used to calculate inflation, an increase in the average level of prices. Annual inflation rate is the percentage change in the CPI from its preceding year. So here is our formula of inflation rate. So I have here my example for you to understand how to calculate the inflation rate using the basket cost and consumer price index.
So here are the steps. First, you need to calculate the total cost of purchasing the base year fixed basket, the 100 bracelets, 40 socks, and 20 balls in each year. For our 2016, which is our base year, 10 is the price of bracelets times the quantity of 100, plus 50 is the price of socks times the quantity of 40, plus 100 is the price of balls times the quantity of 20 equals 5,000. For 2017, the price of bracelets is 15 pesos times the quantity of 100. And the price of socks is 52 times the quantity of 40. And lastly, the price of balls is 104 times the quantity of 20 equals 5,660. For the year 2018, the price of bracelets is 18 pesos times the quantity of 100. And the price of socks is 56 times the quantity of 40, plus the price of balls is 110 times the quantity of 20 equals 6,240. So our second step, construct CPI index. CPI in year X equals cost of fixed basket year X divided by base year cost of fixed basket times 100. CPI in 2016 equals 5,000 divided by 5,000 times 100 equals 100. CPI in 2017 equals 5,660, the CPI in 2017 divided by CPI in 2016, which is 5,000 times 100 equals 113.2. The CPI in 2018 is 6,240 divided by the CPI in 2016, which is our base year, times 100 equals 124.8. So our final step is you need to calculate the inflation rate in 2017 and 2018. Our inflation rate in 2017 is equals to 113.2 minus 100 divided by 100 times 100 equals 13.2%. In 2018, we have 124.8, which is the CPI in 2018, minus CPI in 2017, 113.2 divided by 113.2 times 100 equals 10.25%.
For the second question, how do you use tax in addressing recession and inflation? Fiscal policy refers to the use of government spending and tax policies to influence economic conditions, especially macroeconomic conditions. This includes aggregate demand for goods and services, employment, inflation, and economic growth. During a recession, the government may lower tax rates or increase spending to encourage demand and spur economic activity. Conversely, to combat inflation, it may raise rates or cut spending to cool down the economy. Fiscal policy can ease the task of monetary policy in reducing inflation while mitigating risk to financial stability. The last question is, how does BSP use reserve requirement rates to address recession and inflation? My answer is, the primary objective of the BSP's monetary policy is to promote price stability conducive to a balanced and sustainable growth of the economy. Inflation targeting is focused mainly on achieving a low and stable inflation, supportive of the economy's growth objective. This approach entails the announcement of an explicit inflation target that the BSP promises to achieve over a given time period. To achieve the inflation target, the BSP uses a suite of monetary policy instruments in implementing the desired monetary policy stance, depending on its assessment of the outlook for inflation. If the BSP perceives the inflation forecast to exceed the target, then it implements contractionary monetary policy to bring down inflation to its target path. On the other hand, if the BSP sees the inflation forecast to be lower than the target, or there is need to increase liquidity in the financial system, then it can implement expansionary monetary policy. The reverse repurchase or borrowing rate is the primary monetary policy instrument of the BSP.